Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Welcome to today's video, Computer Posture Mistakes and Fixes, Episode 9. Thanks for joining me. I want to let you guys know that I value your time and I promise I will make it as worthwhile as possible. Computer posture can be a very painful and boring topic. I try to create content that is free, open-minded, relatable, and easily actionable. Quick note, the info in this presentation is not medical advice. It's based off my experience and my opinions. I talk about good habits that have helped me live a higher quality sedentary lifestyle. Do your own research, make good decisions, and be the best possible advocate you can be for your own healthcare. The specific goals of my channel are to help the user decrease pain caused by sitting at a computer. That's always going to be number one for me. Increase energy, improve mental clarity, and increase work productivity. A quick note about me, I've got a degree in information technology, so I've taken classes like workstation ergonomics and user experience. I'm a lifelong athlete and exerciser, and I've lived a sedentary lifestyle for the last 20 plus years. Here's a quick look at my website, sittingposture.com, how to sit with good computer posture. If you want to, you can go to my website, sittingposture.com, and sign up for my weekly email newsletter. I don't send out more than one email a week, only on Fridays. And you can unsubscribe anytime you want just by clicking a couple buttons on the bottom of an email. But what I put in that weekly email is the article that I published that week for my website, as well as the 2 YouTube videos that I posted to my channel for that week. So if you want to sign up for that email, go to sittingposture.com. All right, here we go. Today's lesson, Computer Posture Mistakes and Fixes, Episode 9. One last note, I'm not compensated by any product sellers or manufacturers. There is no paid promotion in this video. All right, so take a look here. If you take a look at the difference in these two pictures in the desk setup alone, the desk is higher here and the desk is lower over here. What that does when it causes her desk to be higher, her elbows are below the desk level, the keyboard and the mouse. So that causes her to contract her bicep in order to put her hands up on the keyboard and the mouse. And what that does is I used to have my elbow below the desk, and that will cause a lot of shoulder pain, believe it or not, because you're contracting that bicep all day long, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and that bicep is connected to the shoulder by 2 tendons. So the tendons in the shoulder is where it gets inflamed from using the bicep all day. So you notice over here she lowers her desk and she's able to keep her elbow above the desk level, which takes a lot of the pressure off the bicep and puts a little bit more pressure on, put a little bit more of the burden onto the tricep, which is a good thing in this situation. You'll also notice that her monitor is a little bit low here. She's kind of looking at a downward angle. When she lowers her desk here, she raises her monitor way up. And you can see her head is more straightforward here. You can see that curvature in the spine right there. Compression here in the front of the neck, overextension in the back of the neck. So that'll cause dysfunction in the neck and the spine. But you can see here her head is more level. She's not looking down as much as an angle. The top of her monitor is at her eye level. So here's a quick picture that explains what I just talked about. When she has this elbow below the desk level, that it causes us to contract our bicep just to put our hands on the keyboard and the mouse. And when this is contracted 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, these tendons right here are going to burn out quickly. They're going to get inflamed. They're going to get tendonitis. This is speaking from experience. Now, opposed to, say, on this picture on the left, the desk level is probably about right here. This level on the right, the desk level with his arm like this is obviously going to be lower, below the elbow. So this is how I like to sit, with my forearm at an angle, somewhat like this. What that does is that takes the burden off the bicep and puts it more onto the triceps, but not as much. It's a much more relaxed and natural position to have the elbow above the desk level. So you can see here, just to compare the two pictures, here's the elbow below the desk level on the left, and then on this picture on the left, the elbow is less than a 90-degree angle, so that bicep's contracted, which will cause tendonitis and inflammation up here in these bicep and shoulder tendons. Over here, picture on the right, she's got her desk lowered and her elbow is above the desk, so it'll look more like this picture taking the burden off the biceps and those shoulder tendons and putting a little bit more burden onto the triceps, which in this situation is a good thing. All right, let's take a quick look at these pictures. Obviously, the first two. This one right here is also known as sway back or lordosis. This person thinks they're sitting up straight, probably, but they're sitting up too straight, which in essence isn't sitting up straight at all. But what it is, it's called lordosis or sway back, and that's when the lumbar curve is just way too overemphasized, and it causes a chain reaction of all kinds of other problems with the natural curvature of the spine. The second picture looks a lot more familiar to us. This is typically more of a common error. Compression leaning forward, slouching forward. The lumbar curve is completely gone. It's actually curved the wrong way. It's supposed to go in a little bit in that lower back, and this is known as kyphosis. When the upper back leans forward like that and slouches forward, the head goes forward in front of the torso. So what we want to sit with is the third picture, a balanced and neutral spine. And you can see this line is straight up and down, but his back is not straight up and down because the spine has natural curves in it. We're going to skip over that picture and we're going to come back to it. The spine has natural curves in it. This is a balanced, neutral spine. This is the goal, to sit with our spine like this. Now, obviously, our torso is not shaped like this, so it's hard to know if our spine has the correct natural curves in it. It's going to take a lot of body awareness and consciousness to make sure that we're sitting with a balanced, neutral spine. Looking over here, let's go back to this picture. So these two guys over here, what they're going to do is they're going to cause spinal disc degeneration when they sit for a long period of time with either sway back or kyphosis. Basically leaning back too far or slouching forward too far. So what that'll do is that'll just wear on these discs between the spine. And I have somewhere within here in a few areas of my spine from sitting at a desk. You can see what the normal disc looks like here. You can tell this one's a little bit damaged and it's getting thinner. This bulging disc is much thinner than the normal disc up here. Herniated disc has got a lot of inflammation going on there. Without getting too technical about this stuff. And then a thinning disc, this one right here, is pretty far along in the process of disc degeneration. So what we want to do is we want to maintain the natural curvature of this spine so we can avoid everything over here on the left. It looks like this segment of the spine probably came out of the lumbar area somewhere down there, just by the way that it's curved to the right. So I'm assuming it came out of there. So looking at it this way, if this person slouches forward, we're looking at this spine from the right side angle. If this person slouches forward, what it's going to do is it's going to crush this side of the disc and it's going to extend this side of the disc. So this side's going to get torn and stretched while this side gets compressed and crushed. And what that does is that just creates a terrible imbalance in the front and the back of the body, anterior versus interior. So we want to sit as much as possible with this balanced, neutral spine with the natural curvatures in it. Another quick look at another picture. This one over here, you can see his elbows are above the desk level, which is a good thing. He's looking down too far at the computer. It'd be nice if that monitor was up a little bit higher, but first he would need to be sitting up higher. You can see that upper back area has that slouching forward, that kyphosis. So what I would do here is I would probably scoot my chair in a little bit, take more advantage of that back support. He's not taking advantage of the back support, which is very important. We don't have to put 100% of our torso rested on that back support, but just take advantage of it a little bit. Let's go to the second picture. Seat's way too low because you can tell that his hips are below his knees. Over here you can tell his seat's a decent height because his hips are at his knees or slightly above. But over here, definitely too low. Hips are below the knees. That's never a good thing. What that's going to do, that's basically overextending the front of that knee, the quad tendon, and the patella tendon are being overextended, and the back of that knee, the hamstring muscles, hamstring tendons, calf muscles, and calf tendons going into the knee, those are compressed and shortened. So the posterior muscles on the back of the leg are getting compressed and shortened in this situation, and the anterior muscles and tendons on the front of the knee are getting overextended. So one's getting lengthened, one side's getting lengthened, one side's getting compressed. So they're going to be that's going to cause a dysfunction there. You can see he's also still looking down. Also, pay attention here. He's got his elbows below the desk level, so that's causing him to contract his bicep too much, and that'll cause shoulder pain and tendonitis in order for him to lift his hands up on the keyboard. Over here, you'll notice, first and foremost, one of the most important variables in computer posture, whether you're standing or sitting, make sure that monitor, the top of the monitor screen is at our eye level, and then everything else will fall into place much more easily. He's taking advantage of the back support. His chair's at a good height. His hips are at his knees or maybe just a little bit higher. He's taking advantage of a footrest here, which is pretty cool, in order to keep those feet flat, because if he didn't have that footrest there, his feet wouldn't quite be flat because he had to raise his chair up high enough to get his elbows above the desk set up to put his hands on the keyboard and the mouse. So a really good position over here. Let's take a quick look at what sitting on a wallet will do to our spine. Over here, we are not sitting, this x-ray picture or drawing is not sitting on a wallet. If you look at the picture on the right, you can see a block underneath that right sit bone, which in this case is a wallet. And just look at what it does, even if it's just a little bit, or a phone will do the same thing if we're sitting on a phone in our back pocket, if it doesn't break. It will cause that spine to curve in a direction that is pretty damaging to us when we're sitting at a computer desk for long periods of time. You know, our body's very tough and durable, and we're made to be put in certain situations and withstand a lot of abuse. But to be put in this vulnerable position for long periods of time, our body is definitely not designed to be curved to one side like that. We want to sit with this balanced, neutral spine as much as we possibly can. So this is a great example of what sitting on a wallet or a phone will do to us. And one more picture here. Just want to go over how important it is. Like I said, that very first variable, the most important variable of computer posture, whether we're sitting or standing, is making sure that that eye level is even with the top of the monitor screen. In both situations here, he's got that going on. His elbow angle is at like a 90 degree to 100 degrees. In order to get his elbows above the desk setup so he can rest his hands comfortably on the keyboard and the mouse. Same thing over here. Elbow height is slightly above the desk level. I don't exactly like how his arm is angled like that, his upper arm. I would rather stand I would stand a little bit closer to this desk, move this monitor back if I have to. That way, when I stand closer to the desk, my upper arm is more straight up and down. And again, he's got his forearm parallel to the floor here, which is a decent position if that's personal preference and if that works for people. What works for me is I would actually like for this desk to be a little bit lower and like for my elbow to be a little bit higher and my forearm to angle down. So basically what I do is I take this angle out, make sure this upper arm is more perpendicular to the floor, and then I will lower my desk just a little bit and angle that forearm down a little bit. But again, that's personal preference. That's just how I like it. I feel like if my upper arm is angled like that, it's engaging somewhere, probably in the back external rotators of the shoulder. Somewhere it's got to engage to hold that in that position right there. So I want this one to hang more straight up and down naturally, and then my forearms will also slope down a little bit more naturally. So my desk height would probably be a little bit lower than that. And that's it for today's lesson, everybody. Computer posture, mistakes and fixes, episode 9. I want to thank you guys for watching. You know, if you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a big step forward in improving the quality of your life, and that's definitely something to be proud of. If you want to sign up for free email updates, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, sittingposture.com/newsletter. I only send one email a week on Fridays usually. It will include the link to the article that I posted on my website that week, as well as the 2 YouTube videos that I posted to my YouTube channel for that week. And if you want to download a free computer posture checklist, this has to do with sitting only. Go to sittingposture.com/checklist. I basically created this sitting posture checklist for to be printed. It's a PDF form. It can be printed out easily and posted at your computer desk to serve as a consistent reminder occasionally to just glance at the different variables of what's important in maintaining good, healthy computer posture. And last but not least, subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@sittingposture. Don't forget to put that @ sign in there when you're in your browser to get to my channel. All of my content is free, and it always will be. The more people that see my videos, the more ability I have to make more content. So with that said, if you guys found this video helpful, please hit the like button on YouTube or subscribe to my channel. And finally, feel free to forward this video to a friend or family member who sits at a computer full time. Thanks. I appreciate you guys for helping me spread my message. That's it for today's video. This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.